We continue Pac-12 Media Day here from Las Vegas, and it's time to talk about the Colorado Buffaloes. It's great to have Tad Boyle with us on the stage now. Coach, welcome. It's great to see you.
Thank you. Good to be with you guys.
We're going to see a couple of your players here coming up, 2 of your top 3 returning scorers. So there was some known quantity, but we'll talk about some of the unknown as well today. How you feeling about this group so far?
I feel really good. You know, Troy Andre, our SID, told me they picked us 5th. The media did. So
good for you, right?
No, it's fine. But you know, my comment was like, if we're the 5th best team in the Pac-12, Pac-12 is pretty good this year because I like our team. I like the combination of the returning players, our veterans, as I like to call them, and the new young talent is. I think it's about right. And we've had some really good practices. I think we're 12 practices in, and we've. This is a competitive group, and we don't even have our big guy, Eddie Lampkin, practicing with us yet. So when we throw him in the mix, it's gonna get real fun.
On paper, Tad, it looks like the best group you've had in Boulder. I don't know if you'll admit to that or say that, but this is as good a roster as you've had.
It's deep, it's talented. There's no doubt. You know, I go back to that first team that I coached, inherited. You know, all those guys. We were really talented offensively. Obviously, we weren't in the Pac-12 yet by then, but this is a good group, a lot of talent, a lot of depth, and yeah, look, picking us 5th is great because the pressure's off, right? But the internal, you know, standards and goals we have for this program are much higher than 5th in the league.
We'll send it over to Jesse and get some questions from the media.
Okay, if anybody has any questions, raise their hand. We'll get you a mic, and we'll go on my right in the 3rd row to Pat.
Hey, Tad, Pat Rooney, Boulder Daily Camera. Wanted to ask about Cody Williams, kind of a 2-parter on him. Obviously, the highest-ranked recruit you've brought in. One, how are you kind of managing expectations with him? And then 2, just wondering, you know, the makeup of this team, could he possibly benefit from coming in and he doesn't necessarily have to be your leading scorer, he doesn't have to be your leading rebounder or point guard, he can maybe just come in and play?
Yeah, Pat, two good questions there. The first part, managing expectations is something we've talked about with Cody. We actually talked about it in the recruiting process because, you know, he kind of came onto the scene and kind of blew up, so to speak, you know, his senior year. So it's not like he was known as a freshman or sophomore in high school like a lot of these kids, but Cody's just, you know, every day he gets better and better, and that's what we've talked about with Cody is just let's just take each day as it comes. Let's eliminate as much as we can the outside noise. Thank goodness he's not a huge social media guy. He doesn't have a lot of voices in his ears, so that's good. That'll serve him well as this season goes. But I want our fans to understand that there will be a learning curve, you know. And I had a chance to coach Cody this summer with USA Basketball, and you know there was an adjustment there. But managing expectations is going to be big for him, and it's something that we're going to talk about a lot, you know, as the season goes, for sure. The second part of your question is he is definitely going to benefit from guys like Tristan Da Silva and KJ Simpson and Luke O'Brien and some of our veterans, Javon Hadley, Julian Hammond, because the pressure's not going to be on Cody. The expectations are there because, you know, he's got 5 stars next to his name, and there's a reason he has 5 stars next to his name, by the way. You know, some plays he's made in practice, it's like, whoa, okay. That's why that is. But, you know, it's going to be a learning curve, and he's going to get better. He's going to be a heck of a lot better in February than he was in January, a lot better in January than he was in December, and he's a heck of a lot better now in October than he was even, you know, when I coached him in June.
We're going to stay on the right in the 3rd row, and then we'll go to Don.
Alexis Davis, Cronkite News. Cody originally said a part of the reason why he committed to Colorado was because of the elite medical programs. Did that surprise you at all? And then the second part is, how does it make you feel that not only are they getting a great athletic experience, but academically it's meeting the same bar? Yeah,
to me, that's one of the reasons that Colorado is so special, is we do have the combination of the big-time athletics and basketball, now football, obviously. We got big-time facilities. You know, we have an MRI machine on our campus. You know, and so not that we want to use it, but it's there if we need to. So we've had, you know, stories where we have had to use that, and it's been there. So yeah, the facilities we have, just the culture around our program, Cody Williams came to Colorado because of relationships and all the things that Boulder has to offer and the university has to offer. And he's not just a one-dimensional young man.
I want to go back to you coaching Cody. You coach Team USA, the U19 team this summer. How much are you able, Tad, to kind of get him up to speed with what he's going to see once he gets to practice at Colorado? Is it because you got to manage the whole team? So is it not as much as someone would think? Is it more than we would think in terms of him getting to know you and what you're going to expect in September?
Yeah, Don, it's a good question. I've never been in that situation before. It's almost, I've never coached one of my own kids. A lot of people have. I never have. That's how I felt with Cody with Team USA. Like this is my son, but he's part of the team. He's part of the national team, the 19 and under team. So trying to find that balance was key. But Cody's such a coachable young man. He listens. He learns. He self-corrects himself. McKinley Wright was like that when we had McKinley. McKinley would make a mistake, and you'd go get ready to talk to him about it, and he'd already know, like, Coach, I know what I should have done there. Cody has some of those same attributes as a freshman.
I was hinting at with Mark Madsen earlier before you came on about some of the things that make college basketball different than it used to be in terms of NIL, transfer portal, those types of things. And I said this to somebody the other day. We were talking about it. We obviously don't root for anybody. We're objective, and we want to see everyone do well. But I said I want to see Tristan Da Silva win Player of the Year in the conference this year. Why? Because it would be 2 years in a row that a 4-year player that stayed and got better won Player of the Year in the conference.
Absolutely. Don, I couldn't agree more. And Tristan Da Silva is what college basketball is all about. To me, he's one of the top players in the game, in the college game today. I mean, he's if he's not top 10, he's certainly top 20. I mean, I'll go to war with him every night. He's gotten better every year. He's worked on his body every year. He's committed. And, he could have left. He could have gone overseas. He could be playing in Germany for a lot of money right now. But he wanted to finish what he started. And we're thankful that he did. And I couldn't agree more. I hope he can have the year that Jaime had last year for UCLA. And because if he does, it's going to bode well for the Buffaloes.
Okay, we've got two on the left. We'll start with PJ in the third row.
PJ Carlesimo, Pac-12 Network. Tad, kind of piggybacking a little bit on what Donnie was just talking about. In the perfect world, you're a veteran coach, have seen a lot of changes in the college game. How would you like to be able to recruit the way things are set up now currently and have your program be where you have more 4-year players, where you have the continuity? You've got two of the best players coming up soon, returning in the conference right now, and kind of your step back a little bit and what's happened in college basketball.
Yeah, PJ, look, we're going to keep doing what we've been doing. We've had success with it. You got two players here, KJ Simpson, who's going into his junior year, and Tristan, obviously, his senior year, came in as freshman. Neither one of them redshirted. But, we redshirted 2 freshmen last year. This year we might redshirt 1 or 2 more. We'll see, how that goes in November. But we're not going to change what we do and how we do it just because the rules are different now. Does the NIL change things? Absolutely. Are we in that game? Absolutely. You have to be, or you get left behind. But in terms of what we're selling to our recruits and their families, it's not going to change. It didn't change with Cody. It's not changing, this November when we sign the recruits we're going to sign in November. So we're going to keep doing what we're doing. We're going to try to stay out of the transfer portal if we can, because I don't like doing it. I like getting to know guys. I like developing guys, and to see KJ Simpson and where he is today relative to where he was as a freshman is really gratifying to me as a coach, and I think it is to himself and his parents and all the people that know and love him. So we're going to keep doing what we're doing, PJ.
We're going to go to Casey now in the back left.
Casey Jacobson with Pac-12 Network and Fox. Coach, I'm looking forward to watching the Buffs play this year. Last year, you guys were one of the best defensive teams in the conference in the country. You guys were always on point. Your offense was up and down a little bit. Shooting was an issue. I'd like to hear kind of not only just the players, including Cody, that you're bringing in, but are you tweaking anything offensively? Has perimeter shooting been a big priority for you this offseason?
It has. You know, it's funny. On my desk every day, I've got the off-season plans that we make for each one of our players. And there was one for KJ, there was one for Tristan, there was one for Javon Hadley, you named Luke O'Brien, all of our returning guys, right? And shooting was on every single one of their off-season plans. Is we got to become better, more consistent shooters because we have capable shooters. We really do. We didn't prove it in games last year, but I think, but yeah, we have tweaked our offense a little bit. We're going more to a 5-out offense because part of our personnel. You know, Eddie Lampkin is one kid we did get from the transfer portal. He's a unique player, but he's a lot like Evan Batty in the sense that he really likes to pass the ball. We can play through him, you know, not necessarily always at the low post, but even at the high post. And he's a willing passer. He's a good screen and roll guy. And when Eddie's not on the floor, you know, we got 5 guys that can really space the floor, spread the floor, and so we're going to go more to a 5-out more than a 4-out, 1-in that we've done in the past. That doesn't mean we won't post the ball. It just means that we're going to kind of try to attack mismatches probably more with the players that we have.
Speaking of last year, Tad, you weren't very big either, and it seems like you got bigger this year. Lovering comes in, Lampkin you mentioned. What does that do for not only offensively but defensively? Can you do some different things now that you got some size?
Absolutely, and I think rebounding is always something we always emphasize, you know, and defense and rebounding, you know that. But I think we do have to get better offensively. But I think our length this year, we've got a couple freshman bigs, Bangot Dak, who's 6'9" with a 7'2" wingspan. Asan Jop is a 6'10" kid, freshman that's got great length. Cody obviously has great length, and even our guards, you know, have good wingspan. So we're going to be able to play maybe a little bit more zone, really gap the floor, shrink the floor a little bit, and we're going to switch a lot. You know, we're going to switch a lot of ball screens. So yeah, we're going to. I think defensively we got a chance to be as good as we've ever been, but I think offensively we can take a big step this year.
Coach, I'm not going to ask you to comment on both your players coming in because you already did, so we appreciate your time, and we'll bring them in. It's great to see you.
Thanks, Tad.
Yep, these guys are special.
There's Tad Boyle, Colorado Buffaloes income KJ Simpson